Black Power. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the revolutionary life and works of Fidel Castro. He was most definitely born and chosen to do the miraculous work that he did. You younger people, I would encourage you to study him for yourself. Don't get caught up in a lot of these debates and different perspectives on him. I am including a link to Cuba African Odyssey, which is a documentary that shows Fidel, Che Guevara, and the Cuban revolutionary assistance to the African liberation movements. You know, he supported us here in the U.S., on the continent of Africa, and globally. He supported a lot of the South American liberation movements. So, you know, in all this talk about fake news, you got to question why, when someone of his magnitude makes a transition, would their focus, would corporate media's focus be on the small percentage of people who are out there celebrating his death? You know, pay attention. Look at the people in that crowd, mostly white folks. So you align that with the fact, you know, he supported a lot of black struggles and find out more about what was going on in Cuba at the time of their revolution, you know, to put things into a lot better perspective. He was most definitely an example of making power moves. You know, a lot of folks don't want to acknowledge what's happening. Some people acknowledge what's happening but feel powerless to do anything about it. Some people get out and just reinvent the wheel. But people such as himself found ways to eventually not just liberate his own country, but play a big part in the world liberation against white nationalism, imperialism, capitalism. So most definitely salute to Fidel Castro and his life works. Just on this thing of Black, or the new Black Friday, you know, there were a couple people that got killed on Black Friday a few years ago. The murder of Jordan Davis on Black Friday played a role in a lot of the organizings on the behalf of black people against the celebration of the day. But this year, two more people were killed in separate incidences. Um, they halfway want to acknowledge that there is a resistance against Black Friday, which is causing it to slow down, but they want to give that to what's known as the Buy Nothing Day movement. But again, if you study it, you see this movement goes back to the 90s, and it wasn't until recent times like 2011, 2012 when things actually started to slow down and change with this Black Friday movement. So again, they will use all the fake news they could put out to discredit what's actually going on. Also, I noticed this year, as I was looking to promote more black businesses, there weren't a lot of videos or memes or other means of creative advertising to push black businesses. So that's something we most definitely have to look at. And again, not just for Black Friday, but you know, 365 days throughout the year. And it's not just those individuals promoting their own businesses, but all of us promoting each other. You know, whatever businesses, black businesses you go to do business with, most definitely use your social media to help promote them. If you have a business, of course, promote yourself, but we all want to promote each other, because again, they're pumping millions of dollars to captivate the masses. So if all of us commit to using our various forms of social media, we will have a more level playing field. Also remember, the no-fly zone is continuing the month of November and December, trying to encourage people to look for alternative means of transportation while you're going in and out of town. Again, the airlines is one of the industries of one of the top industries of capitalism, but they're also polluting our our airways with a lot of these chemtrails and other things that's causing respiratory, neurological, and other issues for us. So we most definitely are encouraging to abstain from utilizing the airports during these times of high travel. But again, all of these things, the boycotts of corporate America, some people were saying, don't make sense just to boycott on Black Friday. Again, this is permanent. This doesn't have a deadline. It's not Black Friday to Christmas or to New Year's. It's every day finding ways to gradually pull out of supporting them and investing in our own. And we're still waiting to see if any of you were capable of shutting your Walmarts down. If you put the time into trying to keep people out of there, you might have been successful. So in a few weeks to a couple months, we may see if they shut more stores down. But again, we also got to know a lot of the information they put out is to save their ass, because as their stockholders start to lose faith in those corporations, they're going to pull out, and that will cause them to collapse even faster than us boycotting. So we got to know the immediate news that comes out over the weekend is usually just some quick response, quick reflex, but not thoroughly investigating information. Well, usually around Monday or later on in the week, the real numbers start to come out, and we'll see what really happened. And again, for us, the biggest thing, more so than their stats, is just us divesting and stop doing business with them and doing business with our own, and building businesses of our own. Again, just throwing more life to the idea of a general strike from January 1st to January 20th. If you got vacation time, if you got sick days, if you can take a sick leave. But labor strikes are something that will most definitely be needed in this new era that's coming. I see that they're calling for a recount of votes. So they still trying to get Hillary in there. But regardless, even if she does get in there, people are going to find out we need the same type of resistance. And on our side, even more so, because our people will see Hillary getting in office as a victory if this recount thing goes through. But the general strike, the court moratorium from January 1st to January 20th, really got to start looking at that as a means of resistance. The prison strike is in its 11th week. So to all of those brothers and sisters behind the walls who are still pushing it, salute to you. To everybody on the outside, again, do your part to educate more people. Do your part to stay out of those Starbucks and different McDonald's businesses that exploit prison labor, and educate more folks on what's happening. Also, people are asking about building black political organizations. Whether we can get involved with ones that are already existing, or whether we have to come with newer ones. But we most definitely have to become a more politically involved people. That is part of what helped Fidel and the Cubans take control of their own destiny. Being politically active, not just sitting by, doing nothing, or waiting for everybody else to do something. But in large numbers, we have to become more politically active. This past week, we finally got our site upgraded and out there. Again, want to thank everybody that's been supporting, been registering on the site. We still haven't been able to resolve the issue with PayPal as far as retrieving the funds that have been donated. So we are looking for alternative means to do that, or find some way to continue with that. So for now, please do not donate to that on the Blackson 365 site. If you can get us in person, that will most definitely help. Otherwise, we'll try to have that resolved. And as far as getting back out to Leimert Park today, most definitely regret not being able to go out there last week because of the rain. They're saying it's going to rain again today. I myself will not be able to make it out there today, but comrades are trying to arrange right now to get back out there in the park and to continue the food program, but again, it's cold, it's raining, the wind is blowing like crazy. So people need your support. You know, whoever you are, you got a conscience, you got a heart. Please do what you can to try to help the family. Don't wait till the emergency is on you and your family. Get involved now to push it back so it will not get to you. All power to the people.